The best international advice for your success starts now.
You know what's worse than being called a monster? Being called a good person. Every single time someone says that about you, they're not complimenting you. They're celebrating how easy you are to use. Think about it. When did anyone ever call you good after you set a hard boundary? After you said no? After you walked away from a fight you didn't start? Never. They call you good when you shut up, when you forgive too fast, when you laugh at a joke that actually burned you inside. Good means convenient. Good means harmless. Good means predictable. And you've been starving for that word your whole life. Let me tell you something I saw once. Years ago, a friend of mine, quiet guy, always helped everyone move apartments, always lent money he never saw again, always smiled when people were late. His nickname in the group was literally the Saint. You know what happened? One night, after a dinner where 6 people talked over him for 3 hours, he went home, sat in his parked car, and didn't move for 2 hours. Just sat there. No music, no phone, just staring at the steering wheel. Later he told me he wasn't sad. He was trying to remember the last time someone asked him what he actually wanted. He couldn't remember. Not one time. That's the dark side nobody talks about. Being the good person isn't a virtue. It's a survival strategy you learned so early that you forgot it was a cage. You figured out as a kid that being nice kept you safe, kept you loved, kept you from being abandoned. So you killed the parts of you that could say no, that could be angry, that could walk away from a table where respect wasn't being served. And now you feel invisible while being essential. You feel resentful while being praised. You feel dead inside while being called such a sweetheart. Here's the brutal truth. Your kindness isn't pure. Most of it is fear dressed up as morality. You're not helping because you're good. You're helping because you're terrified that if you stop, people will see the real you, the tired you, the one who judges, the one who fantasizes about disappearing without saying goodbye. And you hate yourself for those thoughts. So you double down on being good. You become a professional forgiver, a master of the silent smile, an architect of your own slow erasure. I'll say something uncomfortable. Watch how people treat the one person in the room who's openly difficult, the one who says, "I don't have time for this," or "That's not my problem." People complain about that person, but they also respect them. They negotiate with them. They don't expect free labor from them. Meanwhile, you get the leftovers. You get the late night emotional dump from people who wouldn't answer your call at 3 p.m. You get invited because you're useful, not because you're loved. You feel that? That tightness in your chest? That's not anxiety. That's the truth finally touching a nerve that's been numb for years. The worst part isn't even how others use you. The worst part is how you use your own goodness as a weapon against yourself. Every time you swallow an insult, you store it as silent proof of your superiority. I'm better than them. I don't stoop to their level. But that's a lie. You're not superior. You're scared. Scared of conflict. Scared of being seen as difficult. Scared that if you stop being the glue, the whole thing falls apart, and somehow that will be your fault. Let me ask you something dangerous. When was the last time you wanted to hurt someone? Not physically. Just wanted them to feel 1/10 of the exhaustion you feel. Just wanted them to cry alone once. Just wanted them to know what it's like to be forgotten. You've had that thought. Don't pretend you haven't. Everyone who's ever been too nice has a graveyard inside their head filled with people they secretly hope fails. That's the shadow Jung talked about. The part of you that doesn't forgive, that doesn't turn the other cheek, that doesn't believe in selfless love. And you've been feeding that shadow by starving it. The more you repress, the stronger it gets. Until one day it doesn't whisper, it screams. I've seen good people explode over a misplaced fork, over a text left on read, over someone breathing too loud, and everyone around them says, "I don't know what happened. They were always so calm." No, they weren't calm. They were just full of every "it's fine" that wasn't fine, full of every "don't worry about it" that actually destroyed them inside, full of every boundary they never built because building walls felt rude. Here's your exit if you want one. Stop trying to be good. Start trying to be real. Real people say no. Real people disappoint others. Real people have enemies and don't lose sleep over it. The world doesn't need another martyr who resents their own kindness. The world needs people who can be generous without burning alive afterward. Next time someone calls you a good person, don't smile. Ask yourself, are they thanking you or are they marking you? One of those keeps you safe. The other keeps you asleep. Wake up.